There's a certain strain of male that is just different to the other. You know, they're not artistic. They want to see the world burn for the fun of seeing it burn. They want to see blood spilt, and they have it ingrained. And I'm sad about this because I wish it wasn't. As I'm 50 years old now, and I have daughters, and I worry about them going out because I know inherently about the nature of man, you know. Now, that doesn't mean you have to walk around with a handgun hidden on you at all times and nervous of what's going on, but you know, you have an awareness of the criminality that goes through so many people's minds, and it comes from our inner nature. We are not born inherently good. Good is given to us by the people around, our peer group, our parents, our friends, and we become good, and we become moral, and we get a moral compass. We're not born with it at all. My filmmaking as well, to a degree, if you look at the characters and the films I make, I like to try and base them on people I've known through the years. And they're all amalgams of people I've met or worked with. You know, if you live a certain type of lifestyle, if you go from martial arts and contact sports through to military sort of stuff and hanging around, you know, and doing that sort of thing with your life, and then getting into stunt work where you're around a lot of mixed individuals, you see a colorful side to, you know, everyone is a wonderful person. And then surprisingly, benevolent charity and benevolence and care, often that moral compass I see more evident in the guys who are more dangerous. You know, if they walk past a homeless guy, they'll give $10 to, whereas a lot of the so-called wonderful people with the yoga stickers on the back of the car will simply not even acknowledge that person existed, you know. So along the way, there's been a few colorful characters, and I take what I can. You have to be very careful about taking a person, because they'll see that and you don't necessarily want them upset with you or suing you. But certainly little tidbits of some of the people I've met over years, from gangsters to criminals to petty larceny people to people when we've filmed in prisons multiple times, the people I've worked with there, but also a lot of wonderful human beings who have turned their lives around, who started as gangsters, who started as gangbangers, slightly different thing to a gangster, who started as stick-up men, who have then become actors or writers or community helpers who've now changed their story and are helping the youth in that community that they once shot up, you know. And these people I find extraordinarily interesting. The criminal that joined special forces and became someone in it, you know, and came out with medals, you know. I find all of that very, very powerfully moving to me, you know. But as I say, there's no absolutes, and you meet them along the way, and you try and work them into your movies as much as possible, so your characters live and breathe and feel a little authentic. You know, they're not based on other movies. That's what you try not to do. You know, every time a successful John Wick comes out, you know, there's a half dozen or more unsuccessful copies of that one, you know, and it's a fool's errand to try and copy big movies, you know. When Matrix came out, we were deluged with Matrix low budget, medium budget, and some big budget, you know, copies that entered and the big struggle for me is always trying to be authentic. So I hope you guys have picked up on that. And when you reach back into your past with something like martial arts, training with it, and you see a lot of the characters along the way that you've met, and sometimes they find their way into your filmmaking.